Summer's here, another hot day.
Yeah, summer is here. Good.
Hello.
Hey, Kendall.
All right,
How
Kendall.
are you guys?
Good.
Just want to make sure that was all good.
Yep, it's working.
Thank you.
See that okay?
Yes, thank you, Aaron. Good evening and welcome to the Allegheny Clarion Valley School Board Workshop meeting for July 13th, 2026. The AC Valley workshops are conducted virtually, and the link to access the workshop is always posted to the acvsd.org website. During the workshop this evening, I'll provide the school board members with additional information about each motion, and please remember to jump in and ask questions or make comments at any time. At this time, Ms. Patton, could you please conduct the roll call?
Clifford Adams, Patty Anderson, Carrie Almagost, Wesley Baum, Bob Best,
Here.
John Burke, Brady Fight,
Here.
and Todd Gallagher. Thank you.
I see that John is on. He might have had a mic issue.
Great, thank you.
I would like to let you know that Mr. Corey Hake is with us this evening, assistant to the superintendent, his first workshop meeting here at AC Valley, and that Courtney Chalmers is unable to attend this evening due to a family emergency. Moving through the school board agenda, we do not have anybody from the public to participate this evening or any presentations. I'll open up to answer any kind of board concerns, but just keep in mind that we're still advertising for the Foxburg seat. Please get the word out. We're going to continue to post it in the papers, put it in the post office, as well as some of the the other businesses down in Foxburg. So we need to fill that seat.
If
Are there
any
any-
of the residents are listening to this workshop, if you're interested in joining and it's a scheduling conflict, please reach out to Dr. McDivitt or myself, and we'd be happy to entertain changing either a voting meeting or workshop meeting date so we are able to fill this seat moving forward.
Thank you, Brandy. Are there any board concerns that we can address this evening? Okay, hearing none, we'll move right into the consent agenda. And Aaron, you could take us to page 6. We'll move right into the field trips and conferences. Just keep in mind that Rachel Paz, who is our gifted coordinator, put in several educational field trips all at once just so that we didn't have to do it each month. And kudos to her for being proactive and supporting our students with giftedness. And just keep in mind that most of these are tied into student learning goals, and you'll see to keep Rachel in class as much as we can. She has reached out to various colleagues to see if they could supervise trips. Starting off, we do have Wendy Shivak. She is our speech and language teacher, and she's going to her annual conference up at Clarion IU6. There's no cost associated with that trip. Wesley Krautbauer is our science teacher up at the high school. He'll be taking a group of chief science officers on several educational trips. First one being to the Lutheran Environmental Education Center in Prospect, $181 paid for by the IU. Wesley Krautbauer again will be going to the Remake Learning Days and Innovation Playground. It's the Clarion YMCA, cost of $1027 paid for by the IU. And Rachel Paz will be doing the Junior Senior High Propaganda and Current Events Competition in Clarion at IU6. That's the cost of a sub and school van. Seth Shaw and Rachel Paz will be attending the Academic Challenge Scrimmage. It's Senior High #1 activity, and it's in IU6, cost of 2 subs and 2 school vans. Wes Krautbauer and Mike Ripper will be taking the chief science officers to Pittsburgh Discovery Robotics and AI Day down at the David Lawrence Convention Center, a cost of $274. Just keep in mind that part of our high school budgeting, we do budget for the year for these activities and events through the gifted program. Seth Shaw or Rachel Paz will be attending the Junior High Academic Challenge at IU6, cost of 1 sub in the school van. Wesley Krautbauer will be taking the chief science officers to Brockway for a activity with arts and technology, $192 paid for by the IU. Seth Shaw or Rachel Paz will be taking the junior high academics to a scrimmage at IU6, $176 sub in the school van. Seth Shaw and Rachel Paz will be taking a group of students to the academic challenge for the senior high, cost of 2 subs and 1 school van. Wes Krautbauer will be taking a group of kids to the junior high and senior high chess tournament at IU6, cost of 1 sub in the school van, $176.27. And then Seth Shaw will take a group of students to the junior high academic challenge finals at IU6. That's the cost of sub and entrance fees and school van. The next page, we have Seth Shaw taking the senior high academic challenge. It's the finals to IU6. That'll be the cost of a sub and entrance fees, as well as a school van. And then we have Laura Jamison Monig taking a group of students to the Edge of Extinction competition at IU6, the cost of a sub and school van as well. And then we have Jennifer Jordan and Rachel Paz taking a group of students to a mock trial up in Erie County Courthouse, and that's the cost of 2 subs, entrance fee, and a school van. And then the next 4 requests are from Rachel Paz to attend various gifted consortiums at IU6. These are training sessions and updates on writing IEPs and attending various programs that help support our students in their giftedness. And then on the final page We have one more educational trip from Rachel Paz, elementary propaganda current events competition at IU6, cost of a sub. And then finally, if you remember, Rachel Paz was approved back in 25 to take a group of our students to Spain through the educational tours program. And she's put in a request to attend a 5-day Lisbon, Portugal training. And did speak to Rachel, and just keep in mind that 2 of those days are over the weekend, and there will be 3 days that we'll have to get subs for. There's a cost of just $190. Most of that trip's paid for by educational tours, and it is recommended, it's not required. And Rachel's taken kids abroad in the past, but it's been a long time, and it's something for us to consider. She does have that in her Spanish budget, and we are planning a trip, I believe it's early in March, to Spain, and this will help support that trip. Are there any questions about the educational field trips or conferences that we have in front of you this evening? Hearing none, Aaron, you can take us back up to letter B under the consent agenda. Just like a very active gifted program, we do have a very active PTO program as well. Just like our annual approval, we're putting the officers in front of you this evening, starting out with Jessica Lemon and Amber Dehart as co-presidents, Maggie Chandler and Katie Shearbaum as co-vice presidents, Kristen Peace as secretary, Jackie Maley as treasurer, and Stephanie Masters as senior advisor. And then they have a list of other parents that they would like to add as volunteers. Names are before you under letter C. Letter D, we have an annual request from Central Electric Cooperative to utilize the elementary cafetorium at on August 5th for their annual meeting. And just keep in mind that we've been working with Central Electric for, I think, 4 years now, and they always give us a gracious donation. They pay for a couple of our staff members, and they also donated money for our lighting project. So they're great partners. They're coming in tomorrow morning, and Mr. Best and myself are going to meet with them and just look over the facility and to make sure that we can support them during their annual meeting. Letter E is a follow-up to a presentation that we had last month from Kelly Terwilliger and a handful of local pastors. And we met with Mr. Hake and Mrs. Thurber. We developed some guidelines. We have a plan in place. And we're going to support this Allegheny Clarion Valley School District Religious Release Time program 2 times per month, starting in October and finishing at the end of May or at the end of March before testing starts. So we're still working out on release forms. So the parents are theoretically going to just release their students. The district will get the students onto the bus. Jenny Cook's volunteering her bus in time to take the kids up into St. Pete at the old elementary school. About a 45-minute session, and then bring them back. And we're just trying to fine tune the time. It might be at the very beginning of the day or the end of the day, and we've decided to focus in on grade 4 to get this program started.
David, on that, there won't be any conflict with testing in the spring or testing at all?
No, I mean, you know, so we don't like to lose any kind of academic time, but we did discuss that the program should be able to support our PBIS program, enhance better behavior, and we don't feel like it would have a negative impact on testing. That's part of the reason we moved from 3rd grade and 4th grade with that 2 times per month, 45 minutes. I don't foresee any kind of issues associated with impact on testing. And again, they're aware of testing and will be done before the state test gets started anyways.
And I know you haven't tied it down whether first part of the day or towards the end of the day, but there isn't any chance that would be during recess that they're released for that?
We'll do our best to avoid that, Bob. I agree with you. I know the importance of recess. We're just trying to support Jenny Cook, whether she has the bus here in the morning when she drops the kids off. Most likely, I think it will be at the end of the day and bring the kids in and just put them right in line to get back onto the bus So we're still working on it. Mrs. Thurber's very concerned about instructional time as well. So we'll do our best to have the least impact on academics as we can.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Letter F under the consent agenda, we do have Logan Green and Jenny Lowry. They put in to host the CCMEA Band and Choral Festival this spring. Keep in mind that we were slated to host this program last year, and we put it on hold for 1 year because of the auditorium renovations. We'll be up and running, and we're excited to showcase their new venue. Letter G, you'll see the PTO put in to use a small room in the cafeteria for the school cart. That's one of their fundraising events. They also have on the top of page 2, letter H, to use their room for various PTO meetings. And they do a lot to support our educational field trips at the end of the school year for the kids. And again, we can't thank these parents enough for the time that they put in. Letter I is a request to partner with ARCA again this spring, and they'll be utilizing our auditorium. We do have a conflict with that April 11th date. I believe we'll move it to April 18th. And whenever I started talking to John and Kathy, I didn't realize that Sarah Black was scheduling the musical for that weekend. So between Sarah, John, and the ARCA program, we've been able to make some adjustments. So that look for that date to be changing, but that will be on a Sunday, maybe a Saturday rehearsal. They're aware of the cost. They're aware of the custodial charges, and look forward to continuing partnering with them. And then finally, under letter J, it's a list of volunteers. Most of these people had volunteered last year with USD School District, and some of them are educators and teachers and parents, and we want to support Logan and the Falcon Night Marching Band as well. So we have a list of volunteers. Sarah's working at collecting all the clearances at this time as well. Moving into finance and purchase, we will be paying the bills and getting Stacy's cafeteria report on Monday, July 20th. But for this evening, we do have several items in front of you, and starting off with letter I, that's a annual renewal for the 26-27 insurance. That's with CM Regent, and it's at a cost of $99,753. We were with Utica this past year, working with the cost associated with that. It is $7,417 more than what it was the previous year. And what I was told by Josh Daly is the fact that, our payroll went up, so the cost increased by 5%. Overall, with the insurance, there's been weather claims, litigation against districts, not our district, but districts in general, and inflationary period tied into the insurance marketplace. Most schools are experiencing a 10 to 25% increase. And in addition to that, our cyber liability cost went down a little bit. And our overall cost from last year with that number would be about 9%. Moving down through the agenda, letter J, that's the invoice from Jeff Fowler and Tip Top Solutions. Jeff had worked with James and Amos and the engineers with doing the renovation on the football field. We agreed to the $8,500. Jeff's been super to work with. He's very knowledgeable and has been supporting James and the crew since the sod is down. And if you haven't seen the football field, it looks absolutely amazing. James and his crew's mowed it twice already and continues to keep it saturated with water. Jeff also submitted, if we would like to entertain this, additional 4 visits, on-site analysis, and a cost of $3,000. And James will be at the meeting on Monday. We could have a discussion with him whether we want to move forward with that. Jeff's been a great partner. I'm not sure if that's something we want to stay with, or due to difficult financial times that we rely on James and his team.
If Jeff
Moving
wants,
on down,
if Jeff wants to donate his time for that, I'd be agreeable with that.
that would be better than the $3,000.
Yeah.
Letter L, that's from Doble Laboratories, that's part of the PA Smart Grant and the sound system in the auditorium. I believe that's a final payment of $19,600. Letter M is Luton Plumbing, Heating and AC, 28,350, and that's the air conditioning units inside the sound room and the lab that we have designed up there. And that was all written through that was tied into the auditorium, but it was also tied into part of the grant vision as well, even though it's paid for by the bond. Keep in mind that we're finishing off with Wright Electric with a final payment of $69,641.54. We're working with Triangle Roofing right now and just finishing off with the roof on the auditorium. That's the final payment. That would be $57,782.60. James has been working with them as well as Nancy. I feel we're going to have a pretty good roof on our hands once they're done with it and they're just about closing up. And then
David, on the roof, is Nancy done? I mean, is the work completed there yet, or are they just finished?
they're getting close to being completed. They've been working up there. I believe they came in over the weekend, and Nancy is up here. She was going to support that project as well. So we had a little bit of a delay due to the weather. And I had a meeting with James today, and it was the one thing I failed to have a discussion with him as far as how many more days are left on that roof.
All right.
But we'll make sure the roof is done before we have this payment done.
Yeah, and I'd like to have a final inspection and punch list or whatever else needs to be before we release that. We're only about 9 months late in completing that project. So
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's the plan.
thank you.
Sure, thank you, Bob. And moving down through Invention Land, 31,927.54 paid for through the PA Smart Grant. And then on the top of page 3, you'll see that just for internal procedures here, we put all the sub rate back in front of the school board. The teacher sub rate remains the same. First day through 19, subs are paid $115, 20 to 39, $120, and 40 and above, $130 a day. Last year, our aid subs, which we didn't have any, but that we had down for $10. And we would make the recommendation to align that with our other aid or other positions at 1366. That's the same as the secretary, cafeteria, and custodians. And then also the nurse, we're going to make a recommendation that we align that with the teachers. And that was at one time the same. When COVID hit, we did increase that nurse sub pay to $25 per hour for a LPN and $35 an hour for an RN. And we were having a hard time finding subs, but due to our financial concerns that we have, we are making a recommendation that we align that back to teachers' pay. Then letter R and S, these are yearly approvals that we have as we finish off the previous school year, the 25-26 school year. Courtney will be working with the auditors, and we do make a motion that they can make budgetary transfers, just align them with the proper codes if they see anything that was coded incorrectly. And letter S is our annual approval of the Pliget account. That's our capital reserves account. And then the various accounts with Farmers National Bank. As you can see, we have the high school athletic account in there, activities account, cafeteria account, non-interest bearing account, scholarships, capital projects, first programs, and the sweep account. And then Pavlov, we do have a CD in there. Are there any questions under finance before we move into personnel? Personnel, we do have a number of items tied into the budget cuts that we presented on the special meeting in June. One item that I would like to make a recommendation is outside of cutting Carla Funford to 50%, that we have a need at the West 2 program with our vocational program, that we keep Carla whole and we move her to the West 2 program half of her time. She'll be working on a emergency certification with the expectation that she'll take a praxis We've been advertising for over a year now to fill that position, and although it's not perfect on both sides, it would support a vocational program. It would support Carla making that transition up there. The association is in agreement with that, and Carla Funford would be excited about the opportunity as well. In addition to that, letter B, we received a letter of resignation from Leanne Conto. She's a certified school nurse. Our recommendation for cuts is not replace that with a full-time certified school nurse, but rather put that out as a part-time health technician. That would be part of the support staff, and hopefully we'd find somebody for the middle of the day to help distribute medication.
David, on that, could we get a cost associated with that also, what that position would be?
Our cost breakdown as far as the difference between a full-time certified school nurse and a part-time health tech.
Well, at least what the cost is going to be for the part-time health tech.
Okay.
And if, is that a mandatory position that we should have, or could the
No.
current school nurse cover both buildings since they're so close, or?
That could, part of the school code is you have one school nurse per 1,500 students. It just gets difficult to have one person covering both buildings, and people get sick and they have vacations, and this would be a recommendation for us. It's not a requirement. It's a position that we had years ago whenever we only had one certified school nurse, although we did have a second health tech that was full-time. So I think this is getting us towards the bare minimum of what we'd make a recommendation just because of the various needs that our students have.
Yeah, if you just could have a cost associated with that, what that part-time position is going to be, so the board can consider what, give it consideration.
Sure thing. We'll have that ready for the 20th, if not before.
Thank you.
Sure. In addition, you'll see letter D is a formal motion to furlough one full-time aide, one full-time Title I aide paraprofessional, cut 2 part-time study hall and cafeteria monitors. And then also we have 2 vacancies that I'm making a recommendation that we eliminate at this time, one part-time custodian and one part-time cafeteria. And these are all tied into the budget that we approved. And then also letter F, this is a yearly motion that we advertise for substitute teachers, aides, custodians, cafeteria workers, and secretaries. We have a hard time filling a lot of those secretary positions, and if we were to bring back any retired educators, we have to show a need. So we have to advertise, and I'll contact PSERS afterwards if we don't find enough certified teachers to come in and sub for us. So I do make a recommendation that we go out and advertise again, and hopefully we fill those positions. Moving on to instructional services, you'll see we have a whole host of information for you this evening, and I will be turning it over to various administrators across the district to provide more updates about the handbooks in front of you, and then I'll provide a little bit more additional information for letter K through N. But starting off, we have the district calendar in front of you. We approved this in the spring of the year. The only change that we made was to move open house to October 7th. That's right before that long weekend where we have October 8th as an Act 80 day and October 9th as ALF day. And we did this past year, if you recall, and it worked out very well. We had a lot of positive feedback. So we'll keep the teachers in. They'll theoretically work a day and a half on October 7th, do half their day parent-teacher meetings, and then the morning of the 8th will be a half Professional Development Act 80 day, and then the district will be closed down on the 9th of ALF. That was the only change. It's tied into the handbook calendar as well, so we're going to approve all the handbooks and get them off to print. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Thurber to address letter B and C, student and staff handbook.
Hi, everybody. So for the staff handbook, there were not a lot of updates aside from obviously the date and at the very last page, the appendix that included the staffing. So we made our changes there. There was one additional change under our PBIS. We just added our verbiage that related to our Falcon 4 that was particular to kind of a new framework that or a rebranding of sorts of our PBIS. So we added that. That's all for the staff handbook. As far as the student handbook goes, we updated the dates, of course, and on page 1, we did get a new message from a new principal. So that was one of the things that I put in there. Page 4, we did remove the requirement of parents or guardians to sign the report card envelopes. The report card envelopes, we eliminated those last year because they were super expensive, and we did not obviously pick those up again this year. So that verbiage was still in there, and we took out that required signature. Page 5, under the grading, we did add some information about the standard-based report card in the language with that. So that was a little bit of an addition. Some of our primary grades are working on developing a more informational report card for parents. So we're in the process of doing that. Kay has done that. One is working on that currently. So we wanted to be sure that that was communicated to the parents there. On page 7, again, to reflect our PBIS and our Falcon 4, we added some behavior expectation language there. And then finally on page 14, there was still a paragraph about the ESSERS grant from back in COVID and how we used that funding. All of those grants were closed out last year, so we just went ahead and removed that under federal programs. And those were all the changes I had in both of those. Any questions for me? Okay, thank you. You'll hear from me again in a second. David, I think you're still muted.
Thank you, Kristen. In front of you is on letter D, we do have a list of music events from Mr. Green and Mrs. Lowry. Concerts, starting off with December 11th, elementary Christmas concert, December 17th, high school band and choir concerts, May 7th, elementary spring band and choral concert, and then May 13th, high school band and choral concert. And then there's several different band festivals associated with our students that Mr. Green and Mrs. Lowry will be taking, and everything's listed in front of you. Letter E, I believe Mrs. Thurber is going to take this one as well.
Yep. So Mrs. Sherman and I, we both consulted with Mrs. Raybach and asked for some of her feedback on the cyber services handbook. Not much has changed there, with the exception, obviously, of the date and the mandate for cyber students to check in once a week with the AC Valley, with an AC Valley teacher. So David recommended that we added that, and that has been added to page 2 under the attendance and student progress section. That was the only change that I had to report there.
Excuse me, Mrs. Thurber, how
Yes.
is that check-in? How does that happen?
That is, so from my understanding, when students go, and this was a conversation that I had with Julie, just so I can get some understanding for it. When students go to our Inside Cyber, they are still assigned a homeroom teacher, so to speak, and they will be given, and I talked to a parent myself regarding this, so they will be given the same Class Dojo access, the same, obviously, Facebook access, and they're able to contact the elementary office as well for any updates. They will be given all the same information so that those students can participate in the activities and extracurriculars that we offer. So on our end, at the elementary level, if a student is in our cyber program, they are assigned to a homeroom teacher.
Okay, do they have a like face-to-face contact in some capacity, or do they have to physically come to the school at some point in time?
I
'Cause I'm
cannot
thinking
answer.
part of that was a wellness check.
Yeah,
change in
it's
the
done. It could be
legislation.
done. It could be done virtually, Patty, as well.
Okay.
But we've done this past year, and Julie Raybuck put her eyes on a student at least once a week. So we'll follow up with that. The Rocket program, they have teachers face to face, and they meet on a daily basis with those students.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Thanks, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Moving down through, we'll hear from Mrs. Hickman for the next several updates.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And just to go back for you, Patty, we also make sure that our students in-house for our cyber services also have complete access to our high school as well, with our secretaries and our teachers. So I just wanted to just validate for the high school for that as well.
Thank you.
Sure. Going into the student handbook first for the high school, of course, changing the dates for the 2026-2027 school year, and then adding first a new principal's message after the first page. In addition to that, we had a change to the bell schedule after the table of contents. I wanted to change the warning bell language to just a more pleasant word, to transition bell, just to get those kids from their off the bus to the cafeteria and to their lockers and things, and making sure that they're getting to their first period on time. We just switched the language there. Another change is acceptable use policy will be added to the end of the regular format. Currently, it was printed separately and kind of inserted into each calendar and handbook. So I'm looking to just add that at the end after page, if you see page 39, and that is pending Mr. Irwin to make sure that he has room for everything in there for printing. But again, for some reason, it was added separately. So we just want to kind of get that all together in one piece. The next change to the student handbook is currently they have been printing the hall passes on the back of each calendar and handbook. And so I am recommending that we're moving forward with a digital hall pass system that we're currently trying to develop through Google Forms that'll be utilized by all staff and students, instead of having the physical writing on the back of the handbook as a hall pass. So that will be something that I will be sure to, touch base with the students at the beginning of the year during our grade level meetings, and being sure that our staff and our faculty understand how we're going to do that. And I'll do proper training for all of that as well. So with that said, the next change on page 4 under corridor ethics, I removed the language of having a signed hall pass in their hand during instructional times in the hallways, being sure that we're all properly utilizing an electronic system. As far as changes or updates goes, that's all I have for the student handbook, and any questions about any of that? Okay, thank you.
You could just move right into the other handbooks as well.
Sure. So going into the rest of the handbooks, I made sure that I went in to change the dates. The teacher's handbook does not have any major changes at this time. The athletic handbook for letter H, I also do not have any major changes for the upcoming year. And the fundraising calendar, I did submit for letter I. And I'm currently making sure that everyone is submitting the proper paperwork for fundraising approval. And then I'll be updating this calendar as we go. And any questions about those?
Thank you both for the work that you put into the handbooks. It's always a step in the right direction with the new school year. And Dr. Jeffels not on this evening. She'll address the West 2 handbook and the changes that she has at the face-to-face meeting on July 20th. You'll see letter K and L. These are yearly motions as well. We're making a recommendation to continue on with the mobile dentist for 26-27. They come in, do assessments for our students, and make recommendations. And then we worked with Dr. Leonard as our school doctor for a good number of years. And Mrs. Daly enjoys that relationship, and we make that recommendation as well. And then as we finish up, letter M and N are tied together with the Mobilecom radio system associated with the school buses, the vehicles, as well as the school district, the safety committee, as well as the help from Mr. Burke. We've been working on guidelines for installing and maintaining that equipment, and then also a training program as well. So we'll be working with Mrs. Chalmers, and hopefully we can work around John's schedule and get him in to help out with that. But we have 2 really good documents in front of you that should address any questions that the new users have on not only installation, maintenance, but also usage. And there's a variety of different areas that it goes into. And I look forward to rolling that out and increasing the communication with our staff. Any questions under instructional services before we aim for the end of policy and miscellaneous? Okay, we have two policies in front of you this evening. Policy 626.1, that's travel reimbursement. And we're going to make a recommendation to make some modifications on reimbursement. We will be following GSA, that's the U.S. General Services Administration guidelines on meal reimbursement as well as hotel reimbursement. And Ellen helped to provide us with an education on this policy and better align our travel reimbursement. So depending on the city, there's a different hotel rate, which we've always used a standard hotel rate associated with each request that we have. So that'll be changing. I'll have to educate our staff on that. And then meal reimbursement has changed as well. So I have all that documentation and supporting information along with that policy. I will be sharing that on August 24th, our opening in-service day, and we'll be working internally to ensure that we're following those expectations. And then policy 707, it was reviewed with the finance committee. It's the use of school facilities. Attached to that policy is a fee schedule associated with outside organizations as well as internal organizations utilizing our facilities. And we just wanted to put that in front of the school board just to keep it fresh in our minds. Then moving down through as we finish off this evening, we do have the transportation handbook that Ms. Chalmers will review on Monday, the 20th, or the 20th. And then under correspondence, we do have our most recent tax audit, and we did not have any kind of findings associated with that. I'll just read the first couple of paragraphs here. We have audited the accompanying statement of cash receipts, disbursements, and balance due to the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District by the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District real estate tax collectors of Armstrong, Butler, Clarion, Venango counties for the 6-month period from July 1st to 2025 to December 31st, 2025, as noted. In our opinion, the financial statement referred to in the first paragraph presents fairly in all material respects the statement of cash receipts, disbursements, and balance due to the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District for the 6-month period through December 31st, 2025, in accordance with the cash basis of accounting as described in Note B. So that's in your Google share drive as well. So kudos to Courtney and Lindsay for the work that they did, being both relatively new down here, and the work that they've been doing for our tax collectors. And I do want to thank the tax collectors for the amount of work that goes into that. Just moving down through, one of my recommendations is we're completing the football field committee needs as well as the auditorium committee needs. I will be making a recommendation to eliminate those two ad hoc committees upon final review, punch list, make sure both programs are sufficient, and then we'll drop those committees. They've been great while they have worked together. It's just there won't be a need moving forward. And then as we finish off,
David, on the at least on the auditorium, any chance the board could do a walkthrough? Anybody that's interested, anyway, time allows, sometime this summer, just to see, the final,
yeah, absolutely,
project there and how it turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it. I'll see if we got the. We're still waiting on tables from Invention Land, and that's really going to pull together a lot of the work that we're doing with the podcast room and stuff. And I'll see if that's together. Maybe we can meet before the July 20th voting meeting. But if not, we'll definitely get in there in August. It's absolutely an amazing space. And we are planning from the administrative team, we're working with some of the key stakeholders within here to have a Meet the Falcons night. And we're planning for August 20th. That'll be the Thursday before we get back into school. And we're planning a 6 to 8 program. 6 to 7 o'clock, we'll open up our facilities, invite our community to come in and tour the football field, the track, the auditorium, and open up the schools for a welcome back. And then at 7 to 8, we're going to highlight various athletic and student programs down on the football field, and we'll use the gym as a backup if needed. But we're hoping to open everything up, Bob, and get everybody in here as a welcome back to school event.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sure. And then just one item under new business. I'm sure if you've been watching any kind of news, we did have a state budget passed last night, and we're still trying to unpack everything associated with that and school code and such. But the one item that did stick out to me is that part of the budget was going to fund free breakfast for students for, I believe, the third year in a row. So that'll be great for our students as well as other students across the Commonwealth. Before we adjourn, I'll open it up one more time. Are there any questions or comments before we prepare for the voting meeting on July 20th?
David, you mentioned free breakfast. Is there any mention of free lunch?
But, part of PSBA's news blast today, I was saying that they're going to modify some of the requirements for lunches and students who qualify. So I did send that over to Stacy Redding and Courtney and the principals to do a little bit of a deeper dive in that. So I'm not sure if that changes any of those procurement limits or not, but we'll be reviewing that, Patty.
Okay.
Good
Because that
question.
was what I was looking for, was because the breakfast we're already offering it, but that would be an offset on that. So I think if they can get lunch, it might make a difference, maybe.
It really would. I agree with you, and we'll do our best and work with Stacy and support her in the program as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you face to face July 20th.
All right. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.